4 here, back for the second episode. This is for week 2 of the NPL, of around the NPL. Once again, as always, with Brandon.
Yo.
And this week, our guest coach.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Davfernape here.
Yeah, our lucky and bad player from week 2, if you
I'm
watched our
great.
matches.
I am
Um,
great.
that was mostly sarcasm. But anyways, as we do have him here, the first thing we're going to do, just like we did last week with Trev, is we're going to be breaking down at least a piece of his match versus the Washington Charizards and Richard Milhouse Nixon. So once we get set up to what turn we're going to start that off from, I'll be right back. Okay, so we're at turn 20 here. We have Dave's, I almost said Weavile, Dave's Keldeo.
So basically, at this point, he's just gonna sack Goodra, which is how this game has been going. Basically, as you can see, Goodra and Slowking, Gligar, and Mandibuzz, the two defensive
The four
Pokemon,
walls,
basically.
really.
Yeah, they just went down. So we're just at a sacking war here, and now is when the battle gets to the point where it gets aggressive. It gets down to predictions. The stalling part is over.
And misses.
Yes.
Yeah, and just so everybody does know, his Keldeo is in fact Cobra Berry. So had Nixon, you can't see the side chat, but Nixon just missed a Stone Edge on this. If he wasn't Cobra Berry, it's possible that after a Stone Edge, a Life Orb Aerial Ace could have killed Keldeo. I can't actually recall if he had it. I believe he had Aerial Ace. Go.
So, yeah, at this point, after I kill his Goodra, he's basically just gonna go into his Tornadus T, his big bird, and,
Make sure you set it on normal, because I'm on normal.
yeah.
But you guys just saw it. He missed the Hurricane there, and Keldeo went for the Icy Wind. So I'm gonna pause it right here, and we can pause it on turn 23, end of turn 22. Um, Basically, what happened is it didn't matter as much as Nixon first thought it to matter because Keldeo still, I mean, Keldeo lived because of the Koa Berry. That's what I was trying to say. That took me a long time to say. And would have gotten the Icy Wind and then outsped it anyway. So at this point, the hacks hasn't really mattered yet, but it still does because it makes it so the next Hurricane from Tornadus won't be able to take him out.
Yeah, and, I went for Scald against, Scizor. I don't think this is the first Scald I went for, if I remember correctly in this game. I think I did go for another Scald, earlier, but it doesn't matter. I
I
wasn't
mean,
burning
still, I'm just
anything.
gonna pause it with the Scizor on 20%. I this is, I think, possibly the biggest misplay of the match. Nixon has a Tangrowth sitting in the back with absolutely no reason not to come in.
Yeah.
There's no reason to just sack off your Scizor essentially, especially when if you manage to weaken Keldeo and keep Zard in check with
Aerodactyl.
Aerodactyl. Scizor kills Weavile on Nidoking, so or it does a lot to Nidoking and kills Weavile. So
I think it's more or less that he just went on tilt. Um, Obviously, in the next couple of plays coming up, you can definitely tell he wasn't happy with the game.
yeah, I mean also if you the moment that he let Scizor get this much weakened, he lost to Weavile anyway. That's
Yeah.
so I think had he not made this play, I think you could argue the hacks made a lot more, and maybe if the hacks hadn't happened, he wouldn't have made this play. At the same time, one Hurricane miss, it's Hurricane. It has 30%. It is hand more than one Hurricane miss. So after he U-turns out onto the from the Keldeo after taking two Scalds, and goes back into Torn T, and he misses another one. So here I just wanna ask you, Dave. So had he hit the first one, right? Knocked out Cobra
Hmm.
Berry, assuming he didn't get the confusion, and assuming
Yeah.
he made the same play of going to Scizor, then pivoting back out into this. When he brought this back in, what play do you think you would have made?
To be honest, I think I would have stayed in with Keldeo because my Nidoking had Flamethrower on it, and um
And Scizor's already weakened, and Keldeo has a bad matchup versus the three last Mons. As long
the
once your
only
Cobra Berry is off,
Yeah, so I didn't. I basically thought like, hey, whatever, might as well just go for a hurricane miss. If I was in that position, I probably would have stayed in. Um, maybe like if I wasn't thinking, I would have probably gone to Needle King. Like if I
Made a
like just
boneheaded play.
yeah, if I was just being dumb, like oh, I'm gonna keep this for Aerodactyl. Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
But
Yeah, I don't know what you think, Brandon, but I definitely think if he as long as he sacked Keldeo there, like with Weavile and Scissor Weekend, I don't
Um,
see how he lost.
yeah, like I said from before this match, I don't know why he. I mean, I know you guys say his scissor was defensive, but just looking at his team now, like Weavile just wrecks it. Like I said,
Yeah, but it's his whole team in general too. Like even Hitmonchan, like you were saying before, Hitmonchan doesn't have any physical defense. So
I mean, it can always bulk up. I mean, I know it's not like something that you want to do with it, but I mean,
that's actually an interesting point, though. I actually think bulk of Hitmonchan would be okay in the matchup, to be honest.
I
That'd be
mean,
really interesting to see happen.
yeah, it would be, but
Wait, can someone else
um,
check Skype? Are they playing?
oh, draft board.
future you can just tell that like he just kind of gives up.
Yeah, I agree. I think he does. After that first Hurricane miss, he got really, I think, demoralized, which is, I think, part of the reason he went into Scizor, not thinking about going to Tangrowth, even though, from, hindsight and from a different view, it, like, is obvious Tangrowth was the better play.
Like
Well,
just
I can justify him not going to Tangrowth for the sole reason that he may because he did have an Akka berry, so maybe he thought I don't want this thing to get burnt, and hopefully it can take on a Mega Charizard X or take one hit from it.
But you're
Um,
not. He's not gonna be. He wouldn't be able to kill you back with an earthquake anyway. So
that's true,
that's why
but
I still
I can
disagree.
at least justify why he
No,
might
I
think
understand. Yeah.
that. Like in hindsight, yeah, maybe it's not it's not the right play for him to go to Scizor, but like in the heat of the moment, you can definitely
Yeah,
justify
but
that why he
also
would do that.
like by going into Scizor, he lost the game 100% to Weavile. So that's that's the other part of it.
Yeah.
I think even like sacking Aerodactyl at that point, or sacking, even just sacking Tornadus, I think would have been a better play.
what
Yeah.
turn are we on right now?
We're
20.
25. I'm just saying like sacking Tornadus T instead of going into Scizor would have been better for him.
Um.
But I'm not sure he would have been able to win anyway. I don't know. But yeah, basically we'll just play the battle out. We've
Well, yeah.
But
So now,
after
basically,
after turn 27, he totally just gave up.
oh
I'm
yeah,
just
that
gonna
was
say
clear.
that now because he just goes into Tornadus and risked a Hurricane miss again instead of just going straight into Aerodactyl.
yeah, I went to Nidoking on his Tangrowth. Giga Drain did so much damage. I don't know why, but
That's 44. That's not that much.
whatever. I can kill it with a Sludge Wave.
Yeah, but he went for the Hurricane Miss and he had no reason to.
Yeah, if he
Aerodactyl was
went to
definitely the better play.
um, but also I want to say, yeah, he missed three Hurricanes, but basically this is a point I was trying to get across in my own video of this. Number one, I like this isn't justification, but I never got a burn with Keldeo the entire match, which definitely could change a lot of stuff. You know, if I get one burn on the Tangrowth, it
Or the
definitely
Scizor
helps me.
especially.
Yeah. I mean, Scizor, yeah.
I mean, I think both
Um,
ones just kind of got sacked, so it didn't really matter. But
yeah, but like if it went differently, burns would have helped. Um, but obviously that's not justification. But like my only like what I want to say is that yeah, he did miss three hurricanes, but one of them was on an Akaberry Keldeo, so it wouldn't have
not
killed it.
Aka.
Would definitely. I mean,
Koba.
Koba Berry.
Yeah.
His Tangrowth was Akaberry.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. But on the Koba Berry Keldeo, so yeah, it would have weakened me a lot. It would probably put me in range of like some other attacks if you wanted to go for more accurate attacks. And but you know, Hurricane has a 30% chance to miss. So saying that if he hit like all three of them, I could then say that he hacks me because he should
Yeah.
have missed one.
Yeah. Hitting three of those is like more in your favor. That not, and I think if he only hit two of those, I don't think he would have been able to win anyway.
I
Um,
agree. Once he like you said, once he just took the scalds with Scizor, he cannot roost on anything. Like
Yeah,
he
once Mandibuzz and Gligar are gone, he can't roost on it. Even Mandibuzz with Foul Play. I mean, I guess if he's fully defensive, he probably could, but Gligar is roost fodder for days.
he can't roost on literally anything.
Yeah, no, he can't. You're right. I mean, I guess you can roost, like if you come in on a Weepile and he just clicks knockoff, like you can click roost, but at the same time, you click roost, he goes into Zard and you lose anyway. Like
He was at 20%, right, with the Scizor
what? Yeah, I
when
was
he
at twenty
took the
percent. But I'm saying
knockoff just
no
kills.
no you could sack some. All right, go ahead.
The only way Nixon could have won this game is if he played his Slowking like exceptionally well, not letting it get trapped or anything. Because it's his Keldeo check, and if it's Trick Room, then it's definitely gonna put in work.
Yeah,
But
I think one way that that Nixon definitely could have won this game is if he ran like Colbur Berry on his Slow King and then like HP fighting. I think that's one possible way because he would take a pursuit easily if he stayed in, and then the HP fighting would OHKO that, and then after switching out with Regenerator, he would be back at almost full, and the Slowking would at least provide a check to Mega Charizard because I know for a fact it was max physically defensive with Dragon Tail, and it can take a 1+1 hit unless it's Outrage, but if it's Outrage, Scizor can wear it down. So I think that
see,
was really the only, and he didn't have Outrage anyway.
the thing that I want to say is like if he was, this goes back a couple turns to when if he was Trick Room, he definitely could have set it up, and it would have
I
benefited
don't
him
think
a
he was.
whole.
I don't remember him being Trick Room.
No, I'm saying if he
Oh
was like
yeah, totally,
it
totally.
I mean, it helped him so much.
Yeah. All right. But I think we've talked enough about that. Let's go hop into our next segment.
Wait, who's going first?
So all right. Now we're gonna talk about some of the most unexpected things that have happened through the first 2 weeks of the season. So Brandon's gonna start us off here.
Um, I'm gonna have to go with Joe going 2-0. I've known him since fourth gen, and he was always bad, bringing the Scar and Bliss teams. And then when the Celatran cores came out, it got even worse. Um, and then when you hacked him, it was over with. He complained for days, complained on forums. And then I don't know if you guys ever heard of someone named Ingo, but when Joe lost to Ingo, he brought up hacked Pokemon, because the forums that we used back then, we couldn't use hacked Pokemon, man. So Joe was convinced Ingo had a hacked Pokemon. He took it to Smogon. He brought someone named, I think it was I Choose You over, and was like, "Hey, check his Pokemon." So I don't think Joe was born with orange hair. I think the amount of like rage and flame that he threw towards the thing, it just like naturally turned his like hair into like a flaming orange color. So that's gonna be my most surprised joke going 2-0.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. That makes 100% sense. Jolt's never really proven himself to be a very potent player before, and whenever he's never really been able to overcome hacks without becoming flustered. So, it's a great step to see the ginger man, the 6'6" ginger Snorlax, improving a little bit.
He's not ginger, remember, he still has a
Oh,
soul.
that's right. I mean, that's debatable. All right, now Dave, let's hit us up with your surprise of the season so far.
well, the most shocking thing to me is how good St. Louis Rush Rams came out. I mean, yeah, they 5-0'd me, so like obviously I think they're awesome, but like they also they upset I believe Colorado. They beat them and they're basically looking pretty solid for a new team. Matty Brawley came in here, never being in a league format before, and just kind of destroyed all of us.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 2 games in the season, obviously, but I think from his performances so far against fairly good players, it's going to be interesting to see how he does versus the rest of the competition.
Quote unquote fairly.
I mean, you are, and Fog's good, so.
Eh.
But anyway, so now we're gonna go with my surprise of the season is the fact that I beat Trev. I've lost to him 3 times, twice due to hacks. He's gonna yell at me for saying that in the comments, but yeah, and I finally beat him. I ended his like 12 game losing streak or winning streak, not losing streak. Well, let's hope it goes on a 12 game losing streak now. That'd be fun to see. But anyway, so yeah, that's big. Knocked down the champion and looking in a good spot this season myself. It's exciting. 3-0.
Ming.
All right, so now we're gonna talk about some things that
Oh,
we expect to
friends.
happen in free agency. Hello, Dave. What? We're going. All right, so we're gonna talk about some of the possible things we could see upcoming for people picking up and dropping in free agency. So I'm just going to talk about the first one that we briefly mentioned in last week's episode. We talked about Dallas and the San Antonio Swamperts possibly wanting to drop Rotom Heat now that they have Heatran. And so the first thing that came to our heads is a pure electric type instead of an electric fire type, and that's Electros. Now last year I picked Electros up out of free agency after a few weeks of the season, and it worked really well for me. It didn't have the greatest stat line, but it was a fantastic pivot, and its coverage allowed it to do a lot of really cool and niche things for me all season long. So yeah, I think we can all agree that there's a good chance he picks that up. And then why don't you guys go ahead and take it away with your.
Well, I was looking at basically I'm gonna be talking about my own like picks that I've been looking at. And there's a lot of Pokemon, and the like hard thing is like yeah, there's so many good Pokemon, but like what do you drop is the question. I mean, there's Pokemon like Cloyster. I'm pretty sure Politoed. Yeah, Politoed's there. Ludicolo's there.
Hariyama.
Yeah, Machamp. Machamp is there. Nice hacks right there. And then there's like Chandelure and Galvantula. Um, and just like a lot of threats. Like there's Sharpedo, which I mean might not be a threat to some people, but like Flygon. Um, I remember when I had Trevenant, we picked it up in free agency back in Seattle, and it did nothing.
So it's a bad, bad Pokemon.
You know, there's Ditto. That's power right there.
Ditto's actually a
That's
really good
power.
Charizard Y wall. I'm just throwing that out there.
There is somebody that I was playing recently that I would have won if I had a Ditto. But, you know, I'm not gonna talk about it.
I would pick it up. You never know. Okay, no, I'm serious. Ditto can definitely come in handy.
Do you know who I'm talking about, Toge?
Who? What? Totally blanked out for a second. What'd you just say?
I said we're talking about Ditto. I was like, oh, there's somebody that if I had a Ditto and I played them recently, I would have won. And do you know who I'm talking about, Toge?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Are
I'm
you actually bad?
clueless. I'm sarcastic. Hello.
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
I
It sound,
I gotta pop open a Lacroix for that one.
it sounded, cause you sounded so genuine, like, cause you were like, oh, I blanked out. So I thought you actually didn't know, and I was like,
I'm
bruh.
just a good actor.
Oh.
I actually do act though. It's not even a lie. That's some good sparkling water.
Was that acting there? You just lied?
Huh? I don't even know what you're talking about. All right, now go ahead, Brandon, and you talk about what you see.
For me, I think it can be the Atlanta Braves. Now that now that free agency has come, he can definitely pick up like a chlorophyll Pokemon for his Megazord Y.
Yeah,
Maybe like Venusaur or just something that can just come in and spam, like maybe even Executor.
Solar Beam.
Yeah. Shift trees too. You
Yeah,
know, you can run mix set shift tree. Just something to complement his Megazord Y.
yeah, I agree with that 100%. I mean, through the first 2 weeks, he hasn't brought it yet, and I think having a Sun
I think
Sleeper
yeah.
has
I think once he
brought
like gets
that.
something to complement it, he'll definitely bring it.
Yeah. All right, so that's pretty much it for this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Joe, you're still bad.
Yeah, we are.
The,
This
the
is
forum the forum that Jolt was arguing somebody was a hacker on is gonna be in the description. You should read it.
It's brilliantly written stuff right there. Shout out to my man Ingo, showing him who's really in charge. Anyways, I'm Togavor. You're yourself. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see everyone
Follow me
next
on
time.
Google Plus.
Is that even a thing?